Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. This is tomorrow's transfers. Today we're bringing you Wednesday's back pages on Tuesday night. Hope you guys are all doing well. Most of you, or some of you at least, would have been with me for the Real Salt Lake City coverage. It was a long night, but we made it through in the end. And now I'm back tonight to bring you some transfer news. Yes, we're talking transfers. We're talking Perisic. We're talking Eric Dier, Nemanja Matic, and we're also talking Neymar? Yeah, we're talking Neymar as well, unfortunately. We've been dragged into the mix with that as well, but I'm not having any of that Neymar talk. We're here, though, in the main to talk Manchester United transfers. Now, Richard says I was 2 minutes late. I was trying to mess with Wirecast to get me started. Thankfully, it has got me started now. Boxer Boy, how you doing? Jasmine says 222 million for Neymar. F that. Perisic named in the Inter squad of China, and yes, Declan, we will speak about Perisic very soon as well. We'll move on to Perisic. Dier is Dier, someone says in the comments. Andy Barber says Verratti, and apparently Verratti has changed agent and he's moved to Mino Raiola, which would mean the United moved to the front of the queue with Mino Raiola. I mean, we got a loyalty card with him, right? We buy a lot of players off him. Mkhitaryan, Pogba, Zlatan, Lukaku. He's involved in lots of our business. So maybe if he's got Verratti now, it should swing him our way. But there's no talk about that yet. And of course, Verratti has been long linked with a move to FC Barcelona. So anyway, let's get stuck into our first bags at the Sun again. The Metro have used their story regarding Nemanja Matic. Now they're saying United were knocked back on Nemanja Matic knocked back on Eric Dier by Tottenham Hotspur. We tried to get Eric Dier. Thankfully, we've been knocked back. And it's saying now that we're going for Nemanja Matic. Now, to me, I'd be surprised if we did get Nemanja Matic because we beat Chelsea to the signing of Romelu Lukaku, of course. And then they're not going to sell us one of their players. Now, I know they've signed Bakayoko. Nemanja Matic hasn't gone on their pre-season tour. He's been linked with a move to Inter Milan and Juventus as well. But I don't think Chelsea are going to let him join Manchester United. I think Nemanja Matic will have to pretty much force that move himself. And if, of course, he does fancy a move to Italy, then that will shoot the move dead straight away. Anyway, so I don't think these reports in the Sun, in the Metro, in the other British rags are anything to go by. And speaking about the British press, not much has been getting out of Old Trafford, and anything that has been getting out of Old Trafford to the British press has been wrong. You look at them with the centre-back signing, everyone thought we were going after Michael Keane. Then 2-2s now, we signed Victor Lindelof, and the British press didn't know about that until the last minute. They were convinced we were signing Alvaro Morata. Then Romelu Lukaku comes out of the blue. They didn't know about that until the very last minute. So I wouldn't be surprised if, somewhere along the line this summer, the player that we do eventually sign for that central defensive midfield signing or for that attacking midfield signing, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out of the blue because this British press haven't been getting much right at all this summer. And I think now they're just rewashing other old news. I don't think they've got much on Manchester United but to recycle news that has been coming out. Now, reliable sources have been linking Manchester United with a move for Ivan Perisic all summer. The likes of DiMarzio, Sky Cave, etc. And this morning, we had heard just after I finished doing the live stuff for Full Time Devils, we saw news reports coming out that Ivan Perisic was closer to a move to Manchester United. Manchester United were closer to getting a deal done for Ivan Perisic. But then a couple of hours later, he travels with the Inter Milan side over to China for their pre-season tour. And then United's move seems to be dead in the water. No fee is agreed. And you've got Giggs talking about he would raise the bar at Manchester United. And I think Ivan Perisic, look, I don't agree with the price. That's one thing for sure. I do not agree with the price of Ivan Perisic. I think 50 million euros is absolutely ridiculous. And I think most prices in football these days are absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, I think 50 million euros for Ivan Perisic is stupid. Callum says, would you take Neymar? Come on, Callum, mate. Let's be realistic here. Of course I would take Neymar. Ask any football fan in the world, would you take Neymar at your team? They're going to say yes. The question is, are we going to get Neymar? The answer is no. We've got some Neymar story to talk about later, but I'm going to rip them a new arsehole anyway. I don't want to talk about Neymar signing for Man United because it's something that's definitely not happening. So Giggs is saying Perisic is going to raise the bar at Manchester United. Now, Sky have seemed to have asked him the question about Perisic because obviously they have Sky sources, and Sky Cavey, who I know some of Sky sources aren't reliable, Grill and Balagay, etc., etc., but their Italian sources seem to be decent. And Perisic is one that we seem to have been linked with for a long time this summer. Will it happen? I'm not too sure. You hear about reports in Italy of Inter Milan wanting Anthony Martial. Are you on crack? Anthony Martial for Ivan Perisic? No, thank you. So maybe their stubbornness in doing a deal with Manchester United has caused this deal to fall flat on its face, but there's still a long time to go in the transfer window, and of course Manchester United could very well still sign Ivan Perisic, but at this moment in time no deal is done, and it doesn't look like a deal is going to get done anytime soon because he's over there in China with the Inter Milan side. Middle says, would you have Verratti or Matic? I'd take both of them at Manchester United. One thing I would say is though, we're in for Ivan Perisic, and I could see why that would be a good signing because he's a player that brings a different option, a different dimension to Man United. He's not like Marshall, he's not like Rashford, he's not like Mickey, he's not like Mata, he's not like Lingard. Players that we expect will play in the wider positions throughout the season. He's completely different to them, and we need someone that's going to get the ball in the box with a striker like Romelu Lukaku. So I can see why Jose Mourinho wants Ivan Perisic, even if the price is a little bit crazy, and it's obvious United are bulking at the price as well. Maybe they've seen something that is more value for money elsewhere in the market. Who knows? But Ivan Perisic is still an Inter Milan player as we speak. If we didn't sign one, if we were only to sign one player this summer, I'd rather it be Ivan Perisic than a central defensive midfielder as well, because I think we've got players in a central defensive midfield area in the team that can come through, maybe get pushed up, get promoted up the squad. Whereas in that other wide attacking midfield, we've got a lot of youth, we haven't really got any experience. So I can see why Jose Mourinho is targeting Perisic. Alex Prince says Bale, another daydreamer in the comments. Bale, Neymar, not happening this summer. Get that out of your head. Adnan says dab on it. That's another thing that's not happening as well. No one's dabbing around here. The Express have been linking Manchester United with a move for Neymar. Now, if you haven't seen the news, Paris Saint-Germain have been linked in Spain and in France with a deal for Neymar. They're happy to meet his release clause, apparently. And they've struck a deal with Neymar for his personal terms, apparently. But now we're getting dragged into the mix by the Daily Express. Now, I have no doubts that if Neymar was available on the market, Ed Woodward would want him. Ed Woodward would bend over backwards to bring Neymar to Manchester United. He's the kind of player that would fit in, and obviously he's a world-class player. But can I see Barcelona letting go of Neymar? No. I mean, Lionel Messi's not getting any younger. Of course, he's an outstanding player, a great player, one of the greatest. But he's not getting any younger. That's facts. Luis Suarez, he's edging towards the end of his career. He's probably got 2-3 years left, right at the top level. Whereas Neymar has so many years ahead of him, and he's that marquee player for the future for Barcelona. So I can't see why they'd let him go. Of course, if they got 200 million euros or whatever it is for him, they'd be able to spend that money well and invest it wisely. But I just can't see Neymar really going. Of course, his agent seems to be someone that keeps trying to push him out. But we'll have to see what happens. Fortuné is saying Damasio's linking United with Fabinho. I haven't seen that one yet, although he did link us with Fabinho earlier in the summer. It looks like Monaco are selling Bakayoko, may sell Mbappe, but they're not letting go of anybody else, which will mean Lamar and Fabinho will have to stay at Monaco for another season. I seen Fabinho score for Monaco the other day on their pre-season tour. Not sure what that means, but of course, he's back in training with them now, and there hasn't been much talk about him leaving Monaco since. Maybe they've put their foot down. Bakayoko and Mbappe are the only ones to leave, and the rest are to stay. Guys, a lot of giddy people in the comments today is naming Neymar and Bale. Guys, this ain't happening. Of course, maybe in the future if Bale wants to leave and come back to England, United will be there for him, but that's not happening this summer. I think you need to get that out of your heads. And I don't even think we need a huge marquee signing. Everybody's asking for a marquee signing, like Romelu Lukaku at £75 million wasn't a marquee signing. But everyone's asking for a marquee signing. I don't think we need that at this moment in time. We need additions to the squad in valuable areas, but that's about it. We have got a good nucleus to build from. We've got a good foundation. This team's growing together as well. There's lots of potential there. Maybe a little bit of experience added to it, which Perisic, Matic, Ibrahimovic coming in January, if he's to return, would massively boost that. But I think at this moment in time, we've got a good nucleus to build from, and we don't need wholesale changes. If we make any more signings, I can only see one or two coming. Gary mentioning Royce being injured until the autumn. Yeah, people mentioning Royce to Man United as well. Why would Jose Mourinho want to sign someone that's been so injury prone? People seem to get giddy over Borussia Dortmund players. Allow it. Anyway, guys, I've been Adam McCullough. This has been Full Time Devils Tomorrow's Transfers. Today, we've been talking Matic, Perisic, and of course, unfortunately, Neymar, who's definitely not coming to Man United. Get your comments in below on all of those news reports. And of course, subscribe to Full Time Devils as well. For now though, guys, I've been Adam McCullough. This has been Full Time Devils. I'm out of here.